CMMS Radio talks about all things CMMS, computerized maintenance management software, focused on maintenance management. It's the people, the process, and the culture that make your CMMS journey a success. All right, folks, long overdue. You see her on screen. If you don't, I'm going to tell you who it is. That is Katie Sanders. And you might recall Katie Sanders is CMMS Radio correspondent 1. However, all of you that have been asking me, where's Katie? Is she going to this show with you? Is she going to be out helping doing the booth visits? I'm like, nah, man. She's working on some really cool stuff and has gone even deeper into the world of manufacturing. She is, as you can see on the screen, with Grand Forest, and they are the manufacturer of SwedePro. That is chainsaw protective apparel. Now, one of my good friends, his name's Cody Krieger. He's at Timber Products. He gets it. He knows what that's all about. Anybody that's out there in the world of, if you're an arborist and the things that are related to it, that stuff's important. And Katie just did some really cool training. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So Katie, welcome back to CMMS Radio.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's long overdue. You've been super busy. We finally found some carve out time.
Oh, yeah.
We're recording today on Red Friday as we head into Memorial Day weekend. That's why I'm wearing the red shirt, not a CMMS Radio shirt. So shout out to, everyone deployed. Red Friday is remember everyone deployed. And then, of course, Memorial Day is coming up on Monday, and we want to remember all of the fallen because they made that ultimate sacrifice. What is the most recent thing you did that we talked about via text when it comes to learning even more about the world you are in?
Exactly. So I am now fully dipped my toes or dove into the world of manufacturing now. Like you said, I'm currently at Grand Forest, which is the manufacturer of SwedePro chainsaw protective apparel. And I'm currently in our facility right now. And I just did our Lean 101 training. So learned all about the 8 forms of waste and 5S and how to keep things moving smoothly and effectively.
Now, and considering the things you've done in the past, the conferences you've attended, training sessions you've sat in on, the number of people you're connected to that are in that world, you hadn't yet through those years gone through this specific type of training. So what's cool about that is you get to be around it, be in the environments, talk to all the people. And then when you're in a training course like that, you can start connecting the dots.
Exactly.
What was your biggest takeaway so far? Because now you have to go and kind of apply the principles. But so far, were there any one or two or several things that you were like, that makes a little more sense now?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So specifically just going through learning a lot about tact time. That was something that I've heard. I wasn't really specifically sure exactly what it was. And so going through that, learning about the value of your available work and how long it takes you to, in between, touching one product, starting another product. So specifically going through tact time and eliminating those 8 different forms of waste has been really helpful for my brain, knowing what I knew before to now literally straight through this wall right here is our manufacturing floor and being able to put it to use.
So you're on the front lines when it comes to customer facing, helping people with their orders, bringing in the right kind of safety equipment that you guys make. But now you're also going to be a bit involved in those processes as it relates to how you manufacture. How can we better identify and reduce these waste points, which, for me, that's all about maintenance, but
correct.
Ultimately, the reason we're talking is maintenance in and of itself is what's going to feed and nurture a better manufacturing process because we want high throughput.
Yes.
So is that part of this lean process, or is it specifically more about how we're manufacturing, how we're finding and eliminating bottlenecks, or does it include that maintenance component that we all tend to chirp about and try to get right?
No, it includes every single bit of what you just said. Obviously, is getting the product out there, but it's also maintaining our production line and how, like you said, how things have to move along smoothly, maintaining the equipment that we have, maintaining ourselves, because within our facility, we don't have a lot of robot type things. We have cutting machines, we have sewing machines, but everything here is done by hand. So not only maintaining our sewing machine and our cutting machine, but maintaining ourselves, making sure that our sewers, our inspectors, our quality assurance line, that they are all tip top. And so obviously maintaining the machinery and maintaining us as a person is super important, specifically here at SwedePro.
Yeah, yeah. Now, does this mean your role is changing, or is it just more that you're kind of taking on those additional responsibilities? I'm curious about that because we didn't get to talk about it.
Yeah, so my role is a little bit different than it has been in the past. In the past, I've done, corresponding, I've done sales, and that's kind of where I've been at within the manufacturing world before. But no, I am a lot more boots on the ground now. My title is product specialist of manufactured goods, specifically the SwedePro protective apparel line that we have. So not only am I selling, maintaining relationships with individual customers, maintaining relationships with our dealers, but I am also helping develop new products, developing personalized products for specific companies. I am still going to conferences. I just was at ArborFest in Asheville. It was amazing learning so much there about safety. I am going on the floor watching. I think it's super important as a product specialist to put the clothes on, to watch how they're made. I want to be able to tell people, hey, there's 6 layers in this one, there's 9 layers in that. This one's light, this one's heavy. So I am doing a lot more than I used to do, and I love almost cross-training myself. I want to know what everybody on the floor is doing. That way, if they need help, I can do it. It's our line. I need to know what goes into it and to better be able to help protect somebody. When you think about it, to save a life.
It's true. It's true. And if it's not the life itself, it's the quality of life, because we don't want to lose limbs. We don't want those kind of things happening, and it makes a difference. And I've noticed some of the posts that come out in the, I guess we could say, marketing stuff, but it's not necessarily that, where we're trying to tell a story. You've also been featured as one of the models for the chaps. And I've also noticed that you've had the other safety gear. Mm-hmm. Do you guys make that safety gear as well? Like when it comes to shields, for example?
So SwedePro specifically is chaps, pants, quarter zip top, boots, and our newest flame resistant chainsaw protective chap as well. We specifically do not make the head shields or the hearing protection right now. Always, looking to expand the brand. But currently right now, that's not what we do. But like you did mention, I have been featured in some of the marketing ads, which I also work on myself, the marketing ads. So like I said, I thought it was important to be able to put on the gear, know what it's like, know what these arborists or these DOT teams, what they feel like they have to wear. And part of that is the face protection, the hearing protection, your head, your gloves. Even though we don't specifically make those right now, that's what they have to wear. And I think it's important to put that forward as well. We are chainsaw protective apparel, the chaps, the shirt, the pullover, the pants, but this is all important. So they need to wear that. So that's why I put it on.
Yeah, and it's one I saw somewhat recently, had the flames in the background and everything, and I'm like, the reason I'm bringing that up is more so because it tells a story, and you just said something that I didn't even realize. I wasn't even thinking of it. So for everyone out there, Department of Transportation, right, they have a responsibility for certain sections in and around the roadways, pathways, highways, freeway, whatever, right?
Yes.
And they have to do these things like clearing. They have to make it safe for passage, but they also have to make it less likely that if something gets sparked up, we're talking about a fire here, folks, that it has less ability to fuel itself with what's around it. So that's part of their maintenance process when it comes to the roads we rely on and being safe. So all this stuff starts to really get connected, and
It does.
I dig that because it starts to become more real world rather than taking it for granted. That's been a big theme this year where people are I'm seeing a lot of people like latch on to the concepts we've been beating up on CMMS radio for a couple of years, where basics, people matter, here's where safety comes into play. And I'm seeing a little bit more of that, but I love the pictures because they tell the story. And I like the colors of like the chaps because it's supposed to be bright because you're in environments where people might not be able to see you.
Exactly.
And if something happens, it's a greater likelihood that someone could find you, right? Because they'll see the bright orange or yellow.
Yeah, there is so much that goes into not specifically the interior design of the pant, which we use Avertic Pro, which is by Angtext, and it's the material within the chap or the pant or the quarter zip that jams, it separates and jams the chain of the chainsaw. So it's not just specifically about the actual material. It is a lot about the color and the fit, and just exactly like you said, it has to work for not just the people you would think of like arborists or landscaping. It has to work for wildland firefighters, DOT teams. It has to be all encompassing.
Yeah. And the cool thing about learning all this from you is that, it'll help somebody understand better what's really happening out in our world and the things that we rely upon. And at the end of the day, anything you do, I don't care what it is, any job, anywhere, safety's king, because you got to be getting home at night, and we do have to protect lives and limbs. So That's cool. That's cool stuff. Now, I think I'm taking a guess here. I think you're going to another conference event. So I'm just going to take a shot here. Are you going to be at Women in Manufacturing?
I hope to be there. Yes.
Okay. So it's kind of not solidified, but probably. And you, some people probably already know this, but you're involved with the chapter down in South Carolina. Yeah. I
am. Yes. Yeah.
And that's a combined chapter. It's South and North Carolina.
So North Carolina has its own. South Carolina has its own. Almost every single state has their own chapter of women in manufacturing. Some have more than one, depending on how big the state is.
When it comes to the chapters, are you allowed to, in that environment, educate people on what you're doing now and how it connects to the whole process?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am a member of Women in Manufacturing in South Carolina, and it as a whole. And the way it kind of ties into what I'm doing right now, one, our company, Grand Forest SwedePro, is woman owned. So we are a woman owned manufacturing facility. So a women and veteran owned manufacturing facility.
Here's an oddball question. So the SwedePro swag, apparel, that's not for people out in the field, but the t-shirts, are people allowed to buy those from you if they want to kind of support and rep the brand?
Yes. If you want to support or rep the brand, you can buy this lovely t-shirt that I'm wearing right here. It's on our website, just swedepro.com. You can find all of our gear, our apparel such as this. You can find that all on swedepro.com.
Cool. Now, let's switch gears a little bit, because it's been quite a while since you've been on CMMS radio.
Yes.
And you'll be in the mix eventually again when some bandwidth creates itself and all that. So I've got a few conferences later this year that we hope to see you at. I'm gonna do my best to get you there, right?
Yep.
But what is it that I'm missing when it comes to lean and what it really does for your line, like so far? Like is fuck, I asked that terrible. So no. if I want to understand how your lean training and going through that, I'm assuming certification, how new is that to your organization? Is this new for them?
So I know that our organization did do lean training several years ago as well, but we have myself new, several people on the line new. So we decided that it would be a smart idea to do the lean training again. And how it specifically ties into us is, well, I didn't even realize when I first started. I was like, okay, lean, I've heard of this over and over and over again for the last several years.
Yeah.
So I was like, I went to the class and the instructor was fantastic. We did lots of hands-on examples working through a line. So started off by, okay, here's just a general process. We were supposed to make 4 cars in 2 minutes. We didn't even make one actual productive car in the first go around. Second go around, we were like, why? You got to figure out why. You almost need to run an RCA on what's on your entire production. Like, what is happening here? And specifically at SwedePro, we have to get out bundles and bundles of pants, chaps, and say it's storm season and somebody needs something right away. We got to rush that out there. So we need to figure out ways to keep things moving smoothly. Going through this example again, we were like, why is this happening? Why can we not get these cars out in time? So talk about quality, talk about those, like I mentioned before, the 8 forms of waste. And what I saw really corresponds into what we do here at SwedePro at Grand Forest would be have everything right there in front of you. You can eliminate wasting your unnecessary movement by getting up, trying to find something, having to bring it back, have it in front of you. Just simple things like that can help move things along so much more smoothly.
Yeah, we're always going in production of essentially any kind, in the things that we do when we have production goals or a thing that has to be made in a certain way, a certain quality, safety, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
These principles tend to apply. And it could be lean, it could be some of the other ones, but you mentioned RCA, root cause analysis. And you also mentioned something about this whole concept. It's about simplicity and movement of people, movement of things. So this idea behind kitting, when you're about to do something, that puts a lot of that wasted time in the bank.
Exactly.
And if it's there, you're able to move through that workload, that production job, and somebody else might be kitting the next one, and that's gonna keep that throughput moving. In lean, when you went through the training, do they talk about a lot of the maintenance principles you've been exposed to in the past, or is it mostly pure production and it's more of a small part of maintenance is a small part of it? I'm curious how big maintenance, maybe even maintenance and reliability, are discussed, showcased, and kind of connected to the process.
So the lean training that we had was pretty focused specifically to our line here, which I thought was absolutely fantastic because that's what we need here. But no, they did broadly touch on maintenance, reliability. I mean, you have to have, even in a plant here where most of what we are doing is by hand, you need to have reliable equipment. You need to have, like I said, it needs to be maintained. The equipment needs to be reliable. The kitting, we do have a kitter. That stuff needs to be done specifically and the right way. We have our quality that needs to be done specifically and the right way. So it did, and you asked, has it tied into what I've heard in the past and what I've seen in the past? Absolutely. But the training that we had was specifically more geared towards our facility.
Hopefully this is a question you can answer. Some companies may or may not answer this, but do you have plans for assessments along the way? For example, we're going to incorporate these best practices we've learned. We're going to start focusing on them, and then we're going to assess at 30, 90, and maybe 120 days and keep that regular process to see if we're staying the course that we've established and then identify gaps, because some of the other disruptions that might come down the line is somebody might get a different job, or, maybe they win the lottery and they're like, look, I love this, but yeah, I'm out. And you got to kind of fix that piece. That can cause disruption.
Exactly.
Kind of a janky question.
No, I knew exactly where you were coming from. So yes is the answer to that. And also we already do, I've realized also within the lean training that I took that we do put into practice a lot of the things that the instructor was talking about. Yes, we do. I mentioned tact time earlier. We just came out with our new product, Flare, the flame resistant chainsaw protective chap. And I just did timing her the other day. So we do keep up with these. I was timing our quality and I literally forgot the name for it, but she will go through, and inspect. She will go through and inspect all of it, make sure that the seams are correct. They have the correct buckles. And specifically to our flame resistant chap, every single piece of everything that goes into that chap has to be UL certified flame resistant. The thread, the webbing, the buckles. So it's very specific that she can catch every single thing there. So it being a new product, I did go out and I timed her, saw how long it took, and then we'll come back in here and we'll adjust the time it takes for that. That way, we know on the production side, hey, she's over there inspecting our flare chap. That takes longer, so we have to slow things down here, because that's another thing I learned during the lean training. Overproduction also can kill something, because then it stacks up. That's also bad for an organization.
Really good point. I had an interview, I think we did it last week with someone. The episode came out today. There's a company over in Germany, but there was a story about a line, and it was producing buns. Buns you would see at like a fast food place. And when throughput, right, production is exceeding capability of the people or the things or the conveyor system, whatever it is, you suffer those other losses where, in this case, it's not a food product or something like that, but you get that instant waste, and now this whole thing tipped over because we were bringing too much. And those things have to be aligned. That takes effort. And something that seems to be appearing through everything you're describing is the people part. So I want to ask, when it comes to you making these assessments, or you're timing the quality inspector that's part of QA, quality assurance, are they in the mix on why we're doing this? We're not babysitting you. We're not timing you. We're timing our process. And this is, have those things already been handled so that people aren't like, we're doing all this lean stuff, it's nonsense? Have you guys made them a part of the process?
Absolutely. And we actually had several people from the production floor in the lean training with us. It wasn't just managers or product specialists. We had several people, sewers, kitters, in the lean training with us. So it's not just I'm going up to her and watching her inspect things and timing what she's doing. She knows why I'm there. She was excited. She's like, "Are you ready?" She's like, "Hit that timer, let's go." She was excited. She was catching mistakes in front of me, walking me through her process as well, and explaining, I think it might be better if we did it this way instead. We bring everybody into everything. They know why we're doing stuff. It's not me standing over you.
Well, that's the key right there, is that they've been given the why, and they've been able to formulate and adopt the why. So it reminds me of, there's this thing in manufacturing, it goes back, who knows how long, where we do like piecework, and we start to take what we're doing seriously, but not like hard-nosed, more like we're like, all right, let me see if I can make a better time. We've got our different quality measures, no shortcuts. It's just more about taking what you've solidified in your skill at your station or what you do, and then finding ways to improve it, and also being careful not to over improve it. So it starts coming back to being the same concepts applied throughout. The reason I wanted to ask that is it really relates to things like CMMS, maintenance management, because all this is about production in some way, shape, or form anyway. So it's better that we get to hear it from someone that's wrestling with this, and then also seeing that, oh, I knew some of this, I just didn't know what it was called. I didn't know where it's supposed to happen. That's the beauty of having experience and then going in for that certification or that training, as opposed to training and then you come out of it like, all right, this is cool, but now I'm lost again.
Now what do I do with it? Exactly.
Right. Whereas you had enough exposure to different elements, environments, and whatnot with all the things you've done and what you've been doing there. I think you've been there. Have you been there more than a year now?
Almost a year.
It's pretty close to like your
coming up to it.
Cool. So in advance, happy work anniversary, and thank you for taking time out of your busy day so that we can start to understand better what's happening with the SwedePro line, what you really do, and people keep an eye out. Eventually, you'll see Katie doing some CMMS radio correspondence, as she does. She's the OG, original, first one ever. That's not changing, but don't worry if you don't see her. She's really busy working on cool stuff and a bunch of other stuff that I'm excited about. It's got nothing to do with the podcast.
Just like
Katie Sanders, thanks for being back on CMMS Radio. Yeah. Did you find this episode helpful? Please send us some feedback, suggest a topic, or ask a question. Reach out to CMMS Radio if you need a co-pilot on your CMMS project. Visit CMMSradio.com and use the What's on Your Mind link. Thank you for tuning in to CMMS Radio, your resource for all things CMMS, from selection to implementation, to help you make better choices, learn from industry experts, and have a successful CMMS journey.